it's Zena, Warthog Princess, and welcome to another Vera Bradley video. This one is going to be a comparison of 4 versions of their styles of extra large backpacks, and we'll talk about the dimensions of each of them as we go. So the first one we'll look at is the extra large campus backpack. This is a cotton fabrication. The second one we'll look at is the Reactive extra large backpack. This is a brand new style. And that is the Reactive fabrication, so a sustainable fabrication. The next one is the Reactive Grand Backpack, which is also sustainable and is new-ish, but not brand new style. And then the last one is the Lighten Up Journey Backpack, which is polyester, and it is a little bit older style. They do make a Reactive Journey as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but I don't have a Reactive Journey to add to this comparison, at least not yet. So anyway, the first one, we just saw this backpack in my last video, so I will include a link up here if you want to take an in-depth look at the insides of this bag. But for this video, we'll just take a sort of shorter view, if you will. This is actually the smallest of these 4 backpacks, and it is not a small backpack. It is quite large. So overall, it's about 1.5 inches narrower. It doesn't look it, but it is. And then it is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter in height. And then in depth, this way, it's on par with the rest. So this is about 8.5 inches deep, 16.5 inches tall, and 11 inches wide. So I'm looking down occasionally because I have the comparison. Again, you can go on the Vera Bradley website and you can select up to 4 items to compare. I've selected these 4 backpacks, and then I wrote some notes on the bottom as well. So some things that aren't in the comparison. All right, but this backpack has 2 main pockets, and then in front of it there's a smaller pocket, and behind it there's a tech pocket. It does have the adjustable straps, a nice robust trolley sleeve. It has a chest strap and very good organization with cotton elastic cargo pockets on the side. So that's a first look at the first bag. And again, that's in cotton, of course. So the second bag, and this is the brand new extra large Reactive extra large backpack. This is in dark blue heather, which is relatively new color as well. The Reactive is, of course, water repellent, so that is a great feature of it, which is a step up over the Lighten Up. This pocket on the front is about halfway down, and it has the interior lining, which is a nylon type lining. Pretty blue florals, which we'll get into. This bag, in comparison, is 12.75 inches wide, which is 1.75 inches wider than the other, which when you look at them, it doesn't look like it, does it? So I don't know how they're measuring that, but it's deceptive. I will say though that this bag is narrower on that front and wider on the back, and so when you look at the back of it, now it's not so far-fetched, although it still doesn't look 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches wider. But anyways, that's what the measurements say. So this bag, while we're talking about it, it does same basic strap construction, except that these ones have that mesh, which is increased breathability, and the trolley sleeve is probably, I would say, about the same amount of padding as the cotton one, but it has that, again, breathable side to it. But otherwise, same construction. This bag shape, though, when you look at it, is a trapezoid shape. Bigger in the back and smaller towards the front. But you can see, I mean, that's a significant depth. And that depth there is 9 inches. That's the biggest of all these bags in this direction for sure. But I think it's divided up nicely between the pockets. This has 2 main compartments, just like on the campus. The front one is the bigger of the 2. You have a smaller pocket on the front, but it's actually still pretty large. And then you have your computer tech pocket on the back. So that is the extra large. And let's look real quick before we move on. This one does have metal zipper pulls, but the chunky plastic zippers, and no ribbons or anything on the pulls. But look at the pretty floral inside with those blues. It has dots as well in the background of the pattern. So, I don't know, it's just, from a distance you don't see that, but it is a nice pattern. And it looks really good, even with like the mesh in front of it. All right, so that's that one. The next one we'll look at is the Reactive Grand backpack. Now, I will add a link here to show the video where we looked at the two different versions of the Reactive Grand. Both were in black. They had, you know, some different features for sure, but I elected to keep this version. So if you want, we'll call this Reactive Grand version 1. And the other one has a little bit different than this, but it had this type of zipper on it. And that version we'll call, for the sake of this discussion, Reactive Grand version 2. So, I mean, they have the exact same name. It's, I don't know, they need to name them differently in my opinion, but different things, different names. That's the way it works. But anyway, I didn't need to keep both. On this, there is a carabiner. There was on the other one as well, but this is metal. On the extra large one, though, it's plastic. And I think that's interesting. They're the same form and format, but I don't know why on the bigger bag. Oh wait, maybe it is. No, it's plastic. Yeah, it was hard to tell at first, but I think it's plastic. Yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of stumped. I think it's plastic, but it is a solid plastic. Anyways, whatever. I'm not gonna be hanging anything super heavy on the outside anyway. Oh, but look at the height difference. You can actually see with them standing next to each other, that difference in height between my hands. So let's talk about the Reactive Grand. We've got one zipper in the front, no zipper on the top. We have two main compartments, and then the tech compartment, and this one is a diagonal zipper. Pretty straightforward. This bag is 12.5 wide compared to the extra large, that's a 1/4 inch narrower in this direction. It's 16 inches high, which is 2 inches shorter, which we just saw, and then 8 inches deep versus 9 inches deep. So the depth in this direction is 1 inch shorter, but this one is uniform. It's rectangular and it's the same width all the way through the main compartments. So that's a little different as well. On the back, this one does not have the cross chest strap, but it does still have the robust trolley sleeve. The nice thing about this one is the trolley sleeve goes all the way to the edges of the bag, so it will most certainly and easily fit over any trolley handle on your suitcase, which is great. Again, I have issues with the narrow ones because they cause me problems, but anyway. All right, so the last of these 4 backpacks to kind of show in the comparison is the Lighten Up Journey backpack. Now, this one far and away exceeds all of the others in the level of organization and all these fun pockets everywhere and places and unique features. So that part of it, if that was the battle, this would win by a landslide. The capacity, though, is not as much as you would think for a bag of its size, but it is a significant capacity. I just love the Journey backpacks because they're so versatile and usable for so many things for me. But this bag is, let's see, 12.5 inches tall, which when we compare it to the Reactive Extra Large is a 1/4 inch shorter. It is, I'm sorry, that was the width. 12.5 versus 12.75, but it is a 1/4 inch shorter. It's 17 3/4 versus 18 inches on the other. So 1/4 inch shorter, 1/4 inch narrower, and it is 3/4 of an inch shallower in the depth department here. Now this one, sort of like the extra large, does have a very slight taper from the back to the front. I mean, very slight, if any. But it is a narrower look overall than some of the, like the Grand, if you were to put bottom to bottom. Again, I don't know where they get these measurements because that looks like it's significantly wider. when you put back to back, it is wider. So I think the measurements to me are always very deceptive with these bags. And that's why I keep mine more, because I just have to see it for myself, feel it, size it, compare it, because the numbers, I mean, they're accurate, I'm sure, but it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes, like in this case. So 12.5 inches wide here versus the Reactive Grand, which is the exact same on paper, but you can see how that works. Anyway, this one does have a chest strap. It is adjustable. It has the slide space here. The Journey does also have these little loops, and I think, yeah, the extra large does also have it, although we didn't mention it on this video. They're just a little bit wider straps. So the other backpacks, oops, don't have them. Oh, there's backpacks all over the floor. This one does have a trolley sleeve, but it is just a strap all the way across, and it is, as is my complaint, it is artificially narrow, and you have all this extra space. Why not just go ahead and put that trolley sleeve all the way to the edges? I just don't know why. And I haven't tried this particular one on a suitcase. I think it will fit better than the thicker version that's narrow, just because there's just less fabric to get over it, but getting it on is not usually the problem, getting it off is. So that's my thoughts on that. But this one does have that padded mesh on the back, and that just helps you with cooling airflow on the part that's against your back. So very, very helpful there. These straps can be disconnected and tucked completely inside. That feature is not available on any of these other backpacks. Again, it's unique to the Journey. But this bag also has extra handles. So you have your normal top carry handle, but they have this extra handle on the bottom, so you can carry it like that. It also has a side carry handle, so that when you want to use it more like a soft-sided suitcase, you can totally do that. So there you go. The only thing that would make this one more step is to add a crossbody that was removable. Like maybe on this side have a corner strap that you could, put on there, and that would just take it to the next level, because who doesn't want a bag that you can carry in every different way? There is a bag that does that. I did not include it in this comparison because it sort of stands in its own class, and that is that comfortable travel bag that's a backpack and a duffel and a purse that you zip off the front. We've seen that, and I'll put another link right here if you want to take a look at that. But for this comparison, I just sort of kept it narrower to 4 main ones that are very close to each other, but very distinctly different styles to pick from. So great job for Vera for adding a little something for everyone and options that might fit your needs or desires. But obviously they all come in different patterns, different materials, etc. Lighten Up is water resistant, but not water repellent like the Reactive and the Performance Twill are. Cotton obviously just soaks it up, but you get a little bit greater capacity for water resistance from the Lighten Up than the cotton, but not much better than that. It does get wet. Other than that, they are all wipeable. The cotton one, I have not washed a backpack in the washer, but I think you can. Gentle, cold, perhaps. Don't quote me on that because I haven't done it. This particular one, because it has the faux leather piece, you might not want to do that. Also, this one does have another back pocket that we didn't talk about, but the Journey does as well, so not strictly unique. But anyway, we could talk backpacks all day long. I just love them. And I hope you're all doing well. I hope that was helpful for some of you that are looking at some of the bigger backpacks and what's new in the market. And take care. Washi washi. One other thing that is worth mentioning is the Reactive Grand version 2, the one that I sent back. That one is the same measurements as the extra large Reactive backpack. The only difference in those two is they're both 12.75 inches wide, both are 18 inches high, and there are 1.5 inches in difference in the depth laying on its back. So the Reactive is, they're both Reactive. The Grand is 1.5 inches shorter in height when it's laying on its back. So 7.5 versus 9 inches, but otherwise they are the same. And I'm kind of thinking that they had the 2 Grand backpacks that were both named the same, but 2 totally different styles really. and in different sizes. Then they came out with this Reactive Extra Large, which looks a lot like that Reactive Grand version 2. So I'm guessing, just totally a guess, that Reactive version 2 is going to go away because it's essentially the same as the Extra Large. So you'll have the Reactive Grand that I just showed, and you'll have the Extra Large, but the other one in the middle seems kind of redundant. It's like a weird mashup of the two, but not really a whole lot to be gained from that particular one, so I would venture a guess that it might disappear. But anyway, for this total, just thinking outside the box. But again, I hope that was helpful, and I hope everybody's doing well. Best wishes, take care, and see you again soon. Bye for now.